Mortal Kombat 11 and Mortal Kombat 1 have quite a few differences. Let's start with the obvious that I think you understood even if you didn't play the beta. The damage numbers on Mortal Kombat 1 are absurd. Here's a normal 1-bar Scorpion combo on MK11. It's not really too difficult to get those air Synblade combos, and what? 35% almost? In Mortal Kombat 1, every character was doing 35+% with 1 bar. Here's my Li Mei combo that was doing above 37% every single time. If you had really practiced enough, you could get 40% every single time with 1 bar in the mid screen with Li Mei. But it doesn't stop there. Jax was a cameo that just provided unlimited damage but sucked in the very middle of the screen. Say this is the whole stage, how wide my arms are. Right here, Jax is not very good. But anything on the outsides, man goes crazy. Here's me doing like 45+% combos with him with 0 bars of metering. You do need to spend the Jax cameo at least once, but it's like 44%, 0 bars with 1 Jax cameo spend. Let it be known, all those combos I showed you didn't even require a jump in to do more damage than the jump in combo I just showed you with Scorpion. And here's Scorpion's 2 bar for comparison. Super basic, but are right around 40% with no buffs, and I don't have a specific variation. 40% is what Scorpion has to use 2 bars on in this game, compared to getting more damage with Li Mei Jax for 0 bars. So damage was obviously juiced up in Mortal Kombat 1. Some people won't like that, but I promise you, it makes the game feel much more arcadey, like its actual roots. MK1 does take a lot more things from MKX than MK11, but it doesn't go all out, which brings me to my second point, which is how mixes work on MK1 versus MK11. This is your typical mix-up in Mortal Kombat 11. You have the low string or the overhead string. Now what makes that special is the first hit of the string is the mix-up. So you have your forward 4 or your back 3. Sub-Zero is going to be another great example of this. You have his forward 2 with the overhead ice axe, and then you have his back 3 for the low starter. But how is that different from MK1? Because MK1 clearly had 50-50 mix. If you played against Johnny Cage, you probably got mixed. The key difference between MK11 and MK1 is the fact that MK11 gives you all your mix-ups at the very start of the combo. Your first hit is the mix. So right here, Devora is guessing between the overhead and low for me to start my combo. Then I can also go like this. And yeah, overhead low, right at the beginning, both of them lead to full combos. MK1 works a little different, where there isn't a whole ton of mix-ups as the first hit of the string, at least so far. The way MK1 would mix you up is you take this string from Scorpion, forward 4-2. The first hit is a low, and the second hit is an overhead, so you need to drop low and then stand up block to block both of them. In MK11 though, you've already made the correct guess upon the first hit. If you block the first hit, you know exactly what's coming for the second one. The way MK1 is that second hit, you see this overhead hit? That is actually the move that would mix you up. So if I go for this low every single time in MK1, the opponent would need to guess if that second hit was going to be the overhead stab thingy, or if I would cancel and shoot Frost low to start my combo. I'll have some examples I did with Li Mei in my recent Li Mei video. You just use that forward 4-4 kick, and you can really condition people to block the second hit, which is an overhead. And then after you've conditioned them quite well, you can just throw out the Frost cameo. It'll freeze them low, and you can start your full combo. It's really, really cool. I actually like it a lot more than just spamming up and down right here when people are approaching me, because I had to guess right off rip. The next point is going to be movement. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of wave dashing. It kind of looks like that. Scorpion doesn't have the best wave dash in the game. If you've seen any good Fujin in a tournament like Ninja Killer or something, yeah, he can move really fast with the wave dash in MK11. In MK1, it's a dash block, more similar to MK9, so I actually think a lot of you guys will find it way easier to do the quick dash movement. I mean, if you played the beta at all, you played against Johnny Cages literally flying across the screen, and a lot of those Johnny Cages had negative records, or not very many games played, or just overall weren't that great. So movement has definitely greatly improved. On top of that, the walk speed is faster in MK1, at least in the forward direction. Your walk speed going backwards is actually slower, I think, in MK1 than MK11, but forward walk speed is faster in MK1 for sure. Next, the one that's going to get a lot of you in trouble when you first get your hands on the game. That is the jump-ins. They aren't that good in MK1. If you played even a half-decent Johnny Cage last weekend, you'll know that when you went in for a jump 2 on them, they anti-aired it every single time. I mean, watch me in Super set, and that was 30 minutes into the game. Super almost never missed an anti-air on me. So yeah, for starters, in MK1, there is a lot of good anti-airs, and they work so much better than they did in MK11. But on top of that, we've all seen it. There is an up block in MK1. So it's not just stand block. If you just sit here and stand block in MK1, you will not get the up block. You have to actually hold the up input to get the up block. And what this does is it makes any jump in punishable if you successfully do it. The problem is if you go for the up block as they're jumping in and they fake the jump in, your up block becomes punishable. So it is a mind game in a sense. Another huge point I have that I hope gets changed for MK1, because I prefer the way it works in MK11. That is the way Fatal Blow and down 2 damage scaling works in MK1. Right here is a simple fatal combo I can do on Devora, and let's see how much damage it does for, you know, it's gonna be what, like 10 to 13 hits, something like that? Maybe even only 11 or 12? Yeah, 11 hits, 364 damage, so around 36%. If I go for Scorpion's long combo, though, into Fatal, he's gonna get, I believe, 50% from this one move. So yeah, the scaling isn't detrimental on these Fatals. If you do the long combo, you get the higher damage, rather than just going for the short one every time. Now take these clips where I use Lee Mei, and you'll see what I mean on the difference of scaling. When I do a shorter Lee Mei combo, I'm getting 44-45% damage on my fatal blows. But when I go ahead and do the really long combo, which you might have seen in my other video, it was like 25 plus hits, super cool with the lamps. It scales it into the dirt. It got like, what, 40-41% damage? Literally less than a combo that was 10 times easier to do. So there really was no incentive to go really crazy on your fatal blow combos. If anything, it just felt super lackluster, and it oftentimes was a waste of your resource. Now on the flip side of what I like about damage scaling is there is actually true combo enders in MK1. Now if you've only played MK11, you probably haven't heard the term combo ender very often. And what that means is how you choose to end the combo. So if I go like this with Scorpion, I choose to end this way, it's gonna do what, 27%? But if I instead go like this and end this way, it's gonna do 27%. So there was no true correct combo to do. They both did the same amount of damage. Well, that's where MK1 is different. You have certain special moves that don't scale as hard as others. So if you played MK1 and tried to end the combo with a down 2, it did like 0.5%, maybe 1% of damage. That's compared to MK11, where right here, it still does over 10% damage. But you could be doing an even longer combo with Lee Mei and end with her, you know, correct combo ender, and even though it's more hits, it will still do 8 to 10% damage. So in MK1, you have to choose the correct way to end a combo, and I like that a lot. I'm sure we all played a character in MK11 that had useless moves that were solely there to be flashy combo enders, but they didn't really serve a purpose, because Scorpion could pretty much always end in spear throw, and it would do the same amount of damage as, say, you know that Demon Dash move? There's no point in equipping that Demon Dash move because it doesn't do any extra damage and it doesn't serve any other purpose. I would say maybe its only purpose is it sometimes has the property where it keeps the opponent cornered to end a combo, but it doesn't feel worthwhile enough to spend a variation slot on it. A few obvious ones out of the way, there are no crushing blows in MK1, which I like a lot. I thought the down 2 KB incentivized a really bad playstyle. It just made a lot of new players want to sit here and down 2 all day, which wasn't really teaching you how to play the game. And then interactables like this one right here, these are no longer in MK1 as well, which I'm actually a little sad about. At least I'm sad about the launching ones going away. I will miss this one in particular. I'm fine with the ones where you jump across the screen, leaving the game, but I wish there was a few maps that had, you know, a launching interactable on it. And who knows, maybe when we get the full game, one of the maps will have a launching interactable. Next up, this one will be quick, but I know it was the biggest complaint I saw in my YouTube chat, in my comments, everything like that. It was by far the most asked thing of me during the MK1 beta. How to amplify your special moves. And let me tell you, it has changed a bit, but I promise it's not as complicated as you think. So the amplify button on MK1 has moved. It's in the same place as it was in MKX. In MK1, your amplify button is the same as your block button. And clearly, that's not the way it was in MK11. The reason being is because in MK11, you extended special moves. You didn't enhance them. In MK1, it is dial in amplify amplified. There is no longer a guessing game for enhancing your strings. Tell me how many times you got hit by, Scorpion doing a teleport like this, and you blocked the first hit of the teleport, then went for your 1-1 punish on him, and he all of a sudden extended it, and it just blew you up, and you essentially ate a 30% combo, even though you blocked that teleport. That's the kind of mind games that aren't in MK1 anymore. It is dial in. So as soon as I input teleport, I am hitting the amplified button as I hit the 3 of down back 3. When I first was getting the hang of it back in MKX, I always just spammed the amplified button while inputting the special move, and that helped me do it to start, and then I got better about actually just hitting it once and getting the amplify. However, if you're still struggling, I would say go look up an MKX amplify tutorial, because it works the exact same way. I'm sure there's plenty of videos online that'll teach you how to amplify. It'll just be on MKX. Next up, there are no more variations in Mortal Kombat 1, and let's rejoice for that. I can't tell you how many times I've been so annoyed because I have teleport cancel right here, which costs, 2 slots of my 3-slot character. And I also wanted to equip this Death Spear combo move because it's really good for Scorpion. It gives a mind game before his plus frames. It's not too great. There are characters in the game with much better moves than Scorpion gets from this Death Spear combo. It just would have solidified Scorpion as true middle tier, because he was like mid-low at a high level. I think if he had this move, he would have been truly middle tier. But because of the way variation systems work in MK11, I had to choose Death Spin, meaning I ran out of slots and couldn't choose Death Spear combo. In MK1, you get all the freedom for your character. You get every single move that character has had in like the history of Mortal Kombat. And the whole idea that you like pick a variation based on the matchup, that is now put onto the cameo. So I get all of Scorpion's classic moves, and then if I want to, specialize for a certain matchup, I can just choose a cameo. It's just so much better in my opinion. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed with how many moves are on your MK1 move list, trust me, you'll learn over time, because this is making you an expert at every part of your character. Those are going to be my big differences for today. If you enjoyed, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.